Hey, this is Robert Monroe, and I was just coming at you here with another talking video. It's Saturday, which is awesome. Saturdays are for having fun with the family, hanging out, video games, jamming, making music, also working for most of my musicians out there. So happy Saturday wherever you're at. Throw a like on this if you can. It really does help. I'm not just saying that, I'm just reminding you, just get that like done. And then let's talk about music careers and art careers and how I think they really work. I'm not going to be talking about how you get a job. I'm not going to be talking about how you make money. I'm not going to be talking specifics. I'm just going to be talking about time. Time is all we're going to talk about. And this goes out to anybody, whether you're somebody who's already in a different career thinking about the arts, whether you're just curious, whether you got kids. Let me break it down for you, at least my 2 cents about how this works. So, let's say you are working a job you do not care for at all. You're working 40 hours, you're making the money, and then what do you got to do to balance all that out? You need a hobby. You need some work-life balance. So you pick up on golf, and you play golf, or tennis, or video games, or whatever. Don't just say Netflix, because that's not a real hobby. I know, we all have the Netflix hobby. That's not a hobby, that's an addiction. So, let's talk about what I think is different about music and arts careers. So, if you're doing something you don't like very much as your job, you work that 40 hours, when it gets to 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., you get out of that office or restaurant or wherever as fast as possible. And then you get home. And then to cleanse the palate, to feel human, you go doing a hobby and you work at that. Because anybody who says they don't work at their hobby doesn't have a hobby. That's kind of the whole point, is something you're passionate about, something you want to pour and invest time and sweat into. So, let's talk instead about the average musician's life or artist's life. They work not necessarily as regular hours, but just for the aspect of thinking about this, they work 9 to 5 as well on their craft, practicing. Again, it's not going to encompass those hours, but let's just say 8 hours a day. And what happens is then we end up having more time necessary. So like I remember when I was in college, all of my engineers that I had as friends, all of my business degree pursuers, they would all be done at somewhere between 3 and 6 p.m. and then maybe done with homework around 9 p.m. Not so with any of the music majors. They were going out to go to rehearsals at 8 or 9 p.m. And so our day would typically end around midnight. So you could say, wow, what a bad trade. How in the world are you going to survive doing that? Sorry for that quick edit. Baby needed to be changed. But the point that I'm making is musicians and artists generally do not need a hobby the same way that 9 to 5, working a job you don't like, sort of career paths do. And in reality, what I think of it as is you lump those 20 hours that other people spend doing golf, whatever, into whatever your passion is. Now you might go, but Robert, if you're working as music, that's your job and you need something to balance that out. And I would say you're 100% right. And what happens as you continue doing music and continue doing your art is you expand, and what happens is those ideas that you have for things to do become more and more elaborate and more far afield from each other, so you can really take a break. So for example, one of the things I'm doing recently is I play bass as a kind of let down, get away from things of what I'm doing with piano. That lets me stay in the music world and stay focused and stay generating ideas and working, but at the same time, I'm still fulfilling that hobby level of release that doing something other than your main workflow does for you. And I would say if you have conversations with artists, this is the real trick, because unlike the traditional career path, you're going to need to spend 60 hours at least to really be successful. I'm just trying to be honest here. That is the real truth. It's too competitive to be thinking about spending less than 60 hours. So let's kind of do a recap. What I'm saying is, big picture here, you're going to have to spend a lot of time if you want to be successful as an artist. So now, why in the world would I want to be an artist? Well, it's because you want to be an artist. It's not, why would I want to be one if it's got this bad entry price? No, it's, I already want to be an artist, so I'm going to suffer through this bad entry price. But here's the caveat. You're not suffering because you love what you do, and then you diversify within that, so you get enough of a change that it really feels like you're doing something different and it's not as work intensive. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'd love to hear your replies and your comments, but that's at least my thoughts. And you guys have a delightful rest of your day, and I'll catch you soon.